I'm David Hoenig. I have a story in the Scribe, February 2020, called Where the Poppies Still Grow. It's based on the famous World War I poem by John McCrae, In Flanders Fields, which reads as follows. In Flanders fields the poppies blow between the crosses row on row that mark our place, and in the sky the larks still bravely singing fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe, to you from failing hands we throw the torch, be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders fields. My story is inspired by those last few lines. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep. It presupposes a different kind of zombie apocalypse, if you will, one inspired by us not keeping faith with those who have gone before and their sacrifice. Where the poppies still grow. I walk between the headstones topped by crosses, crescents, and stars, uncaring of what I crush underfoot. I am not alone. Others walk beside me, ahead, behind. Some seem familiar in the lines of their jaws or the shape of their skulls. None say hello, so neither do I. It feels almost sacrilegious to break the silence with something so pedestrian as speech. Filth crusts the insect-eaten woolen scraps we wear, which flutter in the wind like irrelevance. The colors of the nations these tatters once represented have smeared to unequal shades of gray, as though we now belong to the same military, a literal army of the damned. I can't help but think that this should bother me, but it doesn't. I'm wrapped in peace like a warm, soft blanket, despite the rise of a cold, damp mist against my chilly flesh. Every sense feels odd, but acknowledging that does not break the feeling of tranquility among this half-familiar crowd. Nor does the realization that I cannot recall why I began this trek. I do remember larks singing once upon a time, but only as if from a dream, rather than a crystalline memory. In contrast, the land around us is silent, save for the uneven tramp of our thousands of feet. I look up and understand somehow that the hour of twilight overhead is eternal now. From this vantage, the glow of sunset seems long extinguished, the promise of dawn dubious. It feels like betrayal. The tranquility in which I had been cocooned rips away in fragments coarser than the corrupted flesh falling from me and others. A tiny, sane part of me frantically gropes for the sleepy scent of poppies, for a serenity I had embraced before this mad march through overly manicured greenery and worn stone. I fail, as all oaths born of flesh and blood eventually must. Rage, sudden, pure, white-hot. These fields had been our home, and they are no longer meant to be. The sudden pain is too large to contain. It's not just me. All around, my fellow damned give utterance to their own private agony. It is anguish, grief, torment, wrath. I add my wordless cry to that of my brethren as any hope for a return to denied rest is shredded beyond recall. A part of me knows that our keening is horrid and will terrify those who hear it, and yet, for me and mine, it is the only response we can make to the awful knowledge which fills us. I am suddenly certain I will never know again silence, respite, peace. We begin to march, and like cobwebs brushing against my awareness, the countless other dead which lie restless respond, answer to the broadcast frequency of our collective anguish for one profound reason, because we swore an oath, one beyond frail flesh and blood. I hope you enjoy the rest of the story when you get a chance to read it. Thank you.